When did you, because everyone's going to go, okay, how long did it take? How many posts did you have to do before you saw that, oh, this thing is working, and it was encouraging to keep going?
Okay, so I got about 6 months in, and people started seeing that Adam's working, and he's a realtor, and and he's actually doing business. He does well. Oh, look, all the things, and I had some people that I had already known, that knew me, liked me, trusted me, and they started to come out of the woodwork saying, "Hey, my cousin wants to buy in the Tampa Bay area. Can you help him?"
Hello, you beautiful people. Welcome back to Tampa Bay Unlocked, the podcast where we dive into the dynamic world of real estate and business in the vibrant Tampa Bay area. Join us as we sit down with top agents and industry leaders who share their insights, strategies, and stories of success. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, our interviews will unlock the secrets to thriving in one of Florida's hottest markets. Get ready to be inspired, informed, and motivated. The experts shaping the future of Tampa Bay. Tune in and let's unlock the wisdom from our next guest, Adam Benmbark. He is one of our top agents here at KW St. Pete and on pace to do $20 million this year. He's already closed $11 million. Adam, welcome to the show.
Good to be here.
Yeah, dude, I'm excited. Your story is awesome, and you're an incredible agent, and I'm just excited to dive into your world. I know you were telling me right before the show you got a busy day today.
Yeah. It just seems like, I closed a bunch of deals last week and the week before. I thought, okay, I'm going to have a week to breathe. But no, people that have been looking for houses for the past few months, all of a sudden they decided to pull the trigger on 4th of July weekend, and we got 3 new under contracts this week. So it's been a crazy week. Got a new listing going live, headed to a photo shoot right after this, going to record a video walkthrough where I got to look nice, wear the suit,
Yeah.
play the part.
Play the part, do all the things. You got all the right problems right now.
I do. And that's what I remind myself. I got these Cadillac problems, so I can't really complain too much. What would I be doing if I was just sitting around not having these problems?
Right. Well, I think, so let's go back a little bit, because I think it's fun to dive into who is Adam and how did he get into real estate? Yeah.
That's, so it's an interesting thing. So I throughout my life, I've been watching my father build and accumulate homes, and, he's built enough where he was able to just kind of retire afterwards. And he would always say how hard it was while he was doing it, and try to discourage me from doing it. But at the end of the day, he still had those homes that he was able to cash out, retire, and I saw that. And
he was a builder?
He was a investor.
Okay,
and kind of like he just owned properties and rented them out.
Got it. Okay.
So I wanted to get into the investing side, so I thought it was a good idea to get my license just to have that access and have that unfair advantage when looking for investment properties. So I started for those reasons, got into it, and then I sat with the broker at the time, and she kind of pointed out, look, if you do 10 deals this year, you can make, I think the number was like $80,000 or $100,000. And at that time, that was like, all the bells went off in my head. I was like, wow, okay. So I just got to help people find, buy, and get through the process. And I was all about it. I was a person where I was lucky enough where I was able to work 2 days a week in my previous job and make enough where I was able to survive. So I did 5 days a week
Watch this happen.
Full-blown real estate. He warned me about this.
I did right before. Don't be banging on the table. It comes in hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, lost my train of thought.
No, that's okay. Okay, so that was before. What were you doing before you got into real estate?
So before I got into real estate, I'd like to say that I was in the hospitality industry.
Okay.
So the hospitality industry can be described as many things, right?
Yeah.
So I was a charter boat captain.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, having people from all around the country, all around the world, come on my boat, hang out with them for 4 to 6 hours, and really get to know a lot of different people that way.
Yeah, for sure.
More than surface level when you're with them that long on a boat.
For some reason, the boat just opens people up.
And it does. We're out there doing this. Yeah, I was doing it every day, but to them, it was like a new experience every time.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed sharing those experiences with people.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me feel good when I see like families come out and they're sharing these special moments with their children, things that they'll never forget. And I felt like I was the one that was able to, make that happen. And that's what's great about this now too, is we're helping these people with things that they will never forget. And We've tried to get creative with a couple of our different closing gifts to try to make us even more memorable. So we've done a lot of different things that way too.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's neat. And I'm glad you made the connection of coming from any hospitality industry, charter boat captain, you're creating experiences for people. It's new to them. You're always having to, and it's the same now in real estate. You get to provide a service just as you did before, but just on a different level. And you're still helping people create new memories and new experiences.
yeah, absolutely. And, honestly, a big, like, quote unquote, skill in this business is having the patience with people and also being able to know a lot of different personality types. So over the years, I've gotten to know many, many different personality types. And after getting to know all that, it makes it a little easier when understanding people, where they're coming from, what their goals are, asking more and more questions to kind of drill down about, how to help them best. Sometimes people don't know. They don't know. And it's on you to ask questions, the right questions that will reveal what they are actually trying to accomplish or, what they're trying to do. So
All valid points, and it's really cool to connect to two different worlds together. But acquiring the soft skills of working with people is in itself a skill and very much needed. So in this industry now of real estate. So let's walk through a little bit. Okay, so your dad was an investor. You came in. You're like, okay, this is going to give me access to some deals. If I just do 10 deals a year, I'll make $100,000. Sounds like that was like, more money than maybe we're making at the time. So
Absolutely.
and that's most. And it's funny because most people who come into the business and I ask them how much money they want to make, $100,000 is always the number, right? So and obviously times have changed. Maybe you need to do less now because of the average price point going up to do that. But walk us through like that first year, 2 years. Like what was that like for you? That transition from, you had customers on your boat all day. You're doing that. Now you're working to show homes.
yeah. Oh man, what a transition it was. At the time, I think I was running a parasail boat on St. Pete Beach, and I can't talk about that. Yeah, so when I would have breaks, I would be working my deals.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to say the least. I've met people out on the parasail boat that actually became clients and bought homes with me.
Amazing.
Yeah,
So you were networking
right away.
Yeah.
Right away. I also became like a monk, and I was like in bed by 9, reading for an hour,
Got it.
sleeping by 10, up by 5.
Right.
At the gym by 5:30. I did everything they said to do, and I did it without seeing results, without needing to see results, and just trusting the process and knowing that if I do what I'm supposed to do, that things are going to work out in the end. I just tapped the table again.
No, it's okay. It's fine. Yeah, so you're locked in this time, and you're following the model. You're putting in the hard work, showing up early.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't easy. I'll tell you that first year, I was all gung-ho. The second and third year, I think COVID had hit at that time, and it was just very demoralizing, especially because I was at a point where I was starting to do well, and so I kind of reinvested in my business and then got shut down by COVID, and that was like that investment just kind of went by the wayside, and it took me a little while to like get back up and running again and feeling good about it. So it was a struggle for many years, not just the first year.
Yeah. And so there was a pivotal moment for you in your business that changed things for you.
Yeah.
What was that commitment that you made?
So this.
What for you?
So I had a
want you to
family
tell me.
member. I had a family member that was in need, and there was no one else really that would be able to help this person. So it had to be me. So I had to do something. So I just kicked it into overgear. And
What did that mean for you? Like, what was different? So for any agents listening right now,
So-
like they're like, and what were you doing at this time? I mean, you were doing what, 3, 5
I was
million?
doing, 3-5 million cap in, and then a little bit more, but not
Right.
not like what I was aiming for, my goals. You
Right.
know.
Yep.
I'll tell you that when that happened, it stopped being about me. I had to get out of my own way, put my ego aside, do the things that I didn't want to do, like post on social media. And that was hard for me because I actually did a whole year thinking it was like, I was so tired of seeing it, like realtor social media. I know I don't know how else to describe it.
No, when you're in the world, it's all you see.
Right. So I thought, oh, well, I'm not going to be like that, and that's not what was going to get me my goals, So now that I'm doing it for somebody else, I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm just trying to do everything I can possibly do to increase my chances of being able to help this person.
What a pivotal moment, because all of us, I think, have that, especially when we get into a career like this where we have to put our personality becomes our brand, and we have to put ourselves out there. And ego, as you mentioned it, right, holds us back because it cares for what people think.
Right.
And you had this outside influence that came in and said, it doesn't matter anymore. And you pushed through that.
Yep.
And you started to post on social media.
Yep.
And this is like May of 2022.
Yeah.
I went back and I checked. I noticed you made, because there was a certain type of video that you started to make that I feel like really carried you through. And it wasn't easy in terms of not having to feel like it was vulnerable, because you were making it about your buyers. You want to explain?
Yeah. So I started thinking, because real estate's tough, and it's not. I mean, it's not fun. You know, like the only good thing that really happens other than the closing is when you go and you're writing an offer for a buyer, and they are so excited about this house, and then you get to tell them that their offer was accepted. That is like the moment of everyone's happy. There are no problems yet for inspections. There's no crazy fight for negotiating little things like a dishwasher or whatever. And right then, it seems to be the time when people are at happiest, because that's when it's like actually news to them, And I was able to do these calls where I tell the buyers that they're under contract, they won the house, and get their honest reactions. So I was doing that for a while. It was working out great. Now I'm kind of like out of material for it. I mean, I'm still doing it, but I used to like do crazy things at the beginning or end of the video, because they say if you don't grab their attention the first like 2 seconds, they're going to scroll. So I'd be like jumping off a tree, or one time I did one at the Tampa Bay Rays game.
Yeah, at the Rowdies game.
Yeah, that's the thing, is real estate happens everywhere. I'll get a notification your client's offer has been accepted while I'm sitting with my son at a Rowdies game. So it's like, okay, time to call him. Here, film me while I call him, and then it's like no matter where I am.
But made great content.
It makes great content.
So for those,
it's authentic. It's genuine.
It's super authentic, super genuine. And for you, I remember us having conversations in that time when you decided that you were going to post on social media for a year continuously.
Yep.
You made that commitment to yourself. You put your ego aside and said, it doesn't matter. I'm going to post on social media.
And regardless of results,
Yep.
regardless of if I get a lead in 6 months or not, I'm still going to continue to do it, because
Let's go back. Was it who influenced? Was there an influence, or was it you internally? Where did the inspiration come from to post on social media consistently?
Oh man, well, I just, everyone was talking about it at the time, and it seemed to be a thing that half people were doing, half people were out, and it's very divided by age. I'm 43 years old, and it's like the 45-year-olds, Gen Xers, they are like a lot less likely to embrace social media, and everyone younger than me, all of the younger millennials, they embrace it. They pretty much invented it, and they
because not only did you jump into it, you came in, you did video, which I think is super important.
Yeah. So that's the one thing, is I've never stopped learning, and even on the car ride over here today, there's something that's educational playing, and I don't do music all the time, but I do music right before listing appointments.
Get you pumped up.
And Yep.
Yeah.
And but most of the time I'm listening to educational stuff about the current news in the industry, because it's real important to know what you're talking about in this business.
Absolutely.
Because not many people do. A lot of people just hear headlines, regurgitate other things, and they don't actually try to understand.
Yeah, go deeper below the surface. Well, I'm glad. I know that you do that. You show up in that way. You wouldn't have the success that you're having now if you didn't. So social media. I just want to harp on this, because I know someone is listening right now that could be doing better on social. That it's not. So when did you, because everyone's going to go, okay, how long did it take? How many posts did you have to do before you saw that, oh, this thing is working, and it was encouraging to keep going?
Right. Okay, so I got about 6 months in, and people started seeing that Adam's working, and he's a realtor, and and he's actually doing business. He does well. Oh, look, all the things. And I had some people that I had already known, that knew me, liked me, trusted me, and they started to come out of the woodwork saying, hey, my cousin wants to buy in the Tampa Bay area. Can you help him? Or someone got their real estate license in the Florida Keys. Hey, I have a buyer for you up here. Things like that, where I would have never had the time to reach out to each of these people directly and kind of let them know what I'm doing. So with the social media, blast it out to everybody I know. Sometimes it attracts new people through different social media outlets. So it's all different. So
Yeah, but it's worked for you. Because so what was the difference? So 2022 May, you start posting consistently. 6 months in, you're starting to see some results happen, and then I feel like there was just a hockey stick for you.
I'm gonna tell you that it wasn't one thing. There was not any one thing. And so another thing that happened in May of 2022, I actually picked up this little band here for Graduating Bold, and that is a Bold. Bold's a program. You guys probably know about it. Mostly real estate agents listen to this. But yeah, so that Bold, I actually did everything they asked me to do, regardless of what I thought about it, and I was able to just step over beyond myself, get over what I think, and just do what someone else is telling me to do, and it worked out great for me. I started taking 3 people to lunch a week, and that seems like something small, but that just in 3 weeks of doing that, I was too busy to do 3 lunches a week.
Because business was just coming.
Because business was just coming, and it wasn't like, oh, hey, I'm sitting down with you, you're gonna buy a house. It was like, we're just sitting down, period, and we're hanging out, and I don't even talk about real estate, but somehow by the end of it,
they're talking about real estate,
and they're telling me about their sister's wife's cousin that needs a house, and I guess there could be a sister wife's cousin,
yeah, it works. It sounds good. They walk the dog on Tuesdays too.
But yeah, so it was just, and then it's kind of like also serves as almost like my resume when people like when I meet new people, like say I meet someone at an open house, and then I tell them who I am, they're gonna go look me up on Instagram and see, oh yeah, he does this. This is how he is with people. This is what people are saying about him because they see the reviews. It's just all very cohesive.
Yeah, no, it's worked really well for you. So I just love that timeline and that story. I think for anyone, like, just to recap, like you were at a time where you were doing business, but it wasn't life-changing at that time, right? Like you're feeling the struggle, like where is my next closing? That type of, right? Is that accurate to say? I know we've all been there, right? And then you got consistent, you got out of yourself, you went to this intense training, you had some outside factors that influenced you to get out of your own way, and you did the activity, is what I'm hearing. You did the activity, no matter what the result was. Right.
Trust the process. That's a big one. When I first got into this business, I knew discipline was going to be, I like to think I'm a very disciplined person, so I knew that was going to be one of my strong suits in this, and like the stick-to-itiveness, they call it.
Yep.
Because a lot of people, they just can't get over the fact that they're not getting results, and they've been doing this for a while, and you just got to stick to it. There's got to be some way that you can convince yourself that it is going to work. You need to truly believe that, like deep down inside, and that can be a God thing, and for me, it's my faith has something to do with it, but I've trusted my faith in the past, and it's worked out great for me. So here I am today.
Here it is again. I love that. So what now is, as you've dove deeper into, I want to go back to social media a little bit because I think it is a staple, and if you're being consistent with that, you're going to show up and be consistent in other areas. What trends are you seeing now? What's working for you? What's the direction? Because you said you're running out of content. So are you working on new ideas? Like, what's happening in that world?
Yeah,
for you?
we're working on new ideas. There's a lot of things that I'm just, so for me this year, I've been focused on building this team, and I started a team in January. We're 6 months through it. I think it's quite an accomplishment that we still have all the original members.
That is an accomplishment.
It's an accomplishment. But it's been tough. It was not nearly as easy as I thought it would be. And
yeah, so let's talk about that a little bit. Not just in the sense of the difference between being a single agent to now you have other members and staff that are relying on you.
Right.
So what was that shift like for you in your mind?
So,
and it came out of necessity, right?
It came out of absolute necessity. Like, I wasn't going to be able to do what I did last year. Last year, as a solo agent, I had a really good year, and I almost said I don't ever want to do that again. But this year I've got support. It's my clients are better supported. I won't tap the table. But yeah, so it just works out so much better.
You're creating a better experience.
Creating a better client experience. I'm creating something that's going to also, go into the future, allow me to go into some different areas that I want to go into as well.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a couple businesses that are in their infancy that are springing up now too. So there's going to be a lot to.
How big do you think, Adam?
How big?
Yeah, do you think
so?
big?
It
Do you
depends
feel like
on
you're
how we describe big.
I love this. So how do we describe big?
So do we describe big in areas or in dollar amounts or in people?
How about legacy?
Legacy. So I've been talking to my son while he's here, and I'm trying to tell him, hey, you can be a door opener. You're gonna be 18 in October. Grab your license. And so just planting the seed. He's gonna be a senior in high school. No, I'm not asking him to say, hey, do real estate for a career, but I'm just want to see what happens if send him out on a showing.
So you're thinking about your son in that sense of
absolutely, like creating like generational wealth and just having something that's continuously changing my whole family tree because yeah,
it's important. It's important, and people love those stories from the grassroots.
Yeah. Grassroots.
Grassroots. I can relate with you, man. I'm same thing. I like to say.
Yeah, so it's all new. It's all new to
your
a lot of people in my family, and it's I'm blessed to be able to do things like I took my whole family, 7 of us, to a Rays game last night, and my niece drops her ice cream on the ground. Things were different before. Now it's just like, oh, no problem. Like, it's not even a big deal. Just get another one,
Right. Yeah.
And that might sound simple, but
no,
growing up the way I had grown up, it was not like that.
Yeah, right. No, so, I get it. And how cool that you being able to help people has now created experiences for yourself and your family that you otherwise wouldn't have.
Right, and that's one of the things I asked agents before one of the first questions is, do you genuinely enjoy helping people? Like, does that make you feel really good? Because that's what it's going to take to be in this business, and because you need to have something other than the money that's going to push you.
Absolutely, yeah, because there's other ways to make money.
Right,
Right. Yeah, because you do, as you said, there's a lot to it that people don't think about. So we'll go into this for a second. For anyone listening that's newly licensed or thinking about getting into the business, because I think we're going to have a wide range of people who watch this. I think those who are seasoned, and if you're not posting on social, Adam is proof that works, right? But for the new agents, what advice would you give to yourself if you were to start all over again?
So the one thing I wish I would have done is I wish I would have joined a team right off the bat. Just to get reps in, to learn things through other agents that have been through it. Whereas, I learned from every transaction I did, and I didn't leverage like a team to learn. So it took me a little longer. And that
was a nice little walk. He just walked his fingers across the table. It wasn't as loud, hopefully.
Yeah, good. There we go. All right. So, it took me longer, but, it all worked out.
Yeah. So. No, it did. Okay, so you're saying if you're new, you're suggesting to find a team.
Yeah, I know that sounds like, because I know for me, I was so anti-team because I kept thinking I had a scarcity mindset at the time. It took me a long time to change out of that scarcity mindset, and at the time I just looked at it like I'm giving up half my money, rather than look at it that I'm actually working.
Right.
Rather than, I think my first year I did 7 or 8 deals, something like that.
That's just good for sure.
It was survivable. Yeah, I survived, and I got lucky where in my first 3 weeks I had an under contract, and I had a closing within the first 45 days of getting my license.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was definitely a momentum boost.
That carried me through until my next transaction.
Yeah, of course.
That is the other big piece of advice that I give the agents on my team is save your money. I don't care if you did 4 deals this month. You can't count on that happening again next month. This isn't suddenly the money that you're making every month.
Right.
You gotta save your money, plan. If you can, a 6-month cushion would be really nice. That's what I would recommend to be able to actually function without having like sales breath and having like the consequences constantly surrounding you of losing a deal, and you just operate out of a different mindset when you're at that point.
Yes, I call that's when you get your swagger.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No. Yeah. When you don't need this deal to pay your rent, that's when it just like a flip switches.
Yes, but when you do need it,
When you do that, it's different, you
Right,
know, and people pick up on that. People definitely pick up on that. I know I do.
yeah,
So.
you can feel it. You can feel it for sure. Okay, so new agents, you're saying join a team. Do you think the industry is going to where everyone will be on a team?
I do. I think, we're not, the change is coming. That's going to benefit agents that are established and agents that can sit and interview for the job and show previous work and just qualifications. So there's going to be a lot more buyers that are looking at what the buyer's agents have done. And they're not just going to, now that they're paying, maybe, we'll see what happens, who knows, they might be more selective.
Yeah, I can see that. I think I agree with you. I think there's a big boom coming for the agents that have been in the business.
Yep.
What do you see that's happening in the market? I'm curious.
I'm seeing a lot of move-up buyers. I'm also seeing a lot of those that are move-up buyers that are kind of don't need to do anything right now, but they want to do something in the next 6 months. And I've seen that maybe 3 times this month, so that's pretty prevalent. I know there's a lot of pent-up demand for the move-up buyers. They've been waiting for these rates to go down since they got their house in 2021, 2022. And I know there's a lot of pent-up demand for first-time home buyers. So, everyone has the theory, interest rates go down, all this demand is going to come flooding, rushing back. We'll see what happens. I'm a big believer of telling people the truth, and the truth is no one knows. And anyone that tells you they know for sure what's going to happen is you better run.
Right, yeah, it's true.
They've got an agenda.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. Yeah, no one has. I say I don't have a crystal ball. Right. I have theories of if this happens, then this may happen, but I don't know if that will happen.
Right.
Right.
We also seem to be a little more isolated here in Pinellas County and the Tampa Bay area in general. We haven't seen the price reductions that are going on nationally, but we have seen actual growth between this year and last year. It's been surprising.
Yeah, no, and median and average sales price has gone up. And I don't know if you saw the stats yesterday that came down from Keller Williams International, our economists there, but that's happening on a national level as well. This has me confused and also very interested to see what happens in that home sales are low compared to where they were a few years ago. Interest rates are up, inventory's up, and home prices continue to rise. And standard economics would tell you that as inventory increases, demand is subsiding, and that would bring prices down. But that's not what we're seeing across the whole nation.
Right.
How crazy is that?
Well, there's a lot of people that are wondering, what is going on, and this is like an anomaly, and they're wondering, I'm not a doomsayer or anything like that, but they wonder if something's broken.
Well, I think it could be that pent up demand, right? There's still so much demand, and I think there's a certain homes maybe are sitting on the market that aren't priced correctly. They're way overpriced. They don't realize what they are, but they're being brought down, but they're still selling higher than average of last year. Right. So I think that's where maybe inventory is creeping up, because I think the demand is there. It's so much so that it's able to hold this price line.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it does boil down to basic supply and demand.
Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah. I nerd out on all that stuff. I could sit here and talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
But keep it surface level.
Yeah, it's just interesting, and for anyone listening right now, it's scary. Interest rates pull back a little bit. I think that just opens the gate a little more to the amount of buyers that come into the market.
Yeah, I mean, even like I was saying, I don't know if it's something that happened, but this past week in particular, we saw a big increase in the number of people that were ready to pull the trigger, that are making the decision to buy. And I don't know if that's the beginning of a trend or just like something related to the holiday, So we'll see. Like
Well,
you
these
said,
people,
we'll see.
like for you, I mean, are these people that are like sitting in the hopper and you've been having conversations with for months, or they just come out of the woodwork all of a sudden?
No, they're people that we have in our
Yeah.
pipeline,
Yeah.
and interested a few months ago, but kind of wishy-washy, and then now all of a sudden they're back in it. They're back looking to secure something. It may have something to do. I know there was a Jerome Powell Fed speak thing today at 10 a.m. But I know last week that they were projecting that they were going to announce.
Yeah.
So as soon as they start projecting things, there's some certain people that try to get ahead of that. And,
Yeah, you never know. You never
that's
know.
the thing is I don't know how worth it is. And honestly, I'm a person where I didn't buy back in 2020, and I wish I would have. I kept waiting for the right time. Honestly, during 2020, the end of 2020, the prices were crazy. Right?
Relative.
Yeah. But now those prices are 30%, 40% less than what they are now. Right. So, but at the time, I even felt bad writing these over ask offers for people. And I would write them and I'd be like, all right, you got to be okay with paying this much for this house, and at the end of the day, they made a lot of money.
Yeah, they're still sitting pretty. There's always new highs and new lows, right? And I think right now we're just in a spot where there's like new highs. Like if you're in a valley over a 5-7 year span, that you're gonna hit a new high.
Right.
The market doesn't go up linearly; it goes up in a wave, but it does go up. I mean, if it didn't, we would still be at the home prices that were in the 1970s.
Right. They say don't wait to buy real estate.
Yeah.
Buy real estate and wait.
Buy real estate and wait. Yeah, no. It's good. Gary Keller's one of the lines he said on stage at Mega Camp last year was, "It's always the right time to buy the right piece of real estate."
It's a gem right there.
That is a very powerful line, because it can be the wrong time to buy a piece of real estate if it's not the right piece.
Yeah.
Every individual property is its own unique thing.
Right. Everything's an investment if you get it at the right price.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they say you make money when you buy.
Yep.
Make money when you buy. What's a funny story you can share that you wouldn't expect that you would have experienced when you got into the real estate game? Like something that happened on a showing, or a weird thing you've seen in a house, or just a out of the blue thing that's like, wow, I did not expect that when I signed up to get my license.
All right, I'm gonna go there. All right,
Go there.
Buyer of mine, and so we're in a house that he loves. The next showing is out in the driveway. I asked him to wait while he looks around, and I'm out there talking to them, kind of telling them, yeah, he just wants 5 more minutes to look around.
Oh, so the sellers.
No, I'm representing the buyer.
Yeah.
I'm there showing him the house. There's more buyers
Oh,
right after.
Got it.
Waiting in the driveway.
Busy time.
Busy showing, right?
Yep.
I keep everybody out, and I'm out there, and then he comes out. Okay, Adam, I'm done. And he blew up the bathroom, and they walk in, and I didn't know anything about it. I'm walking out to my car, and I hear them yelling, "Oh my God, what is that? What is that?" And they just come running out the house, got in their car, and left. I did not put him up to that. He got the house.
He got the house?
He got the house.
Oh, man.
I had no knowledge of that. And
Was the water on?
Was the water on? Yes.
Okay.
Yes, thankfully. Oh, my goodness.
That's a strategy. That is a strategy.
I got nothing to do with that.
That's funny. You did. Did he tell you? Or you just
to this day, yeah, he told me. I said, what's going on inside there, And he's like, oh, I left him a gift. I said, what? And then I got it out of him what he really did. I was like, at the first, I was all white and pale. I was like, you really did that? Like, are you serious? Like,
I don't know why I find that so funny.
It is really funny. It is really funny. I just didn't know it was appropriate.
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's
he was
the
like, no one else
thing.
is buying this house. He claimed it. He sat on the throne. He took it. It's real life, man. You don't know who you're working with.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And this guy was the nicest guy too.
I'm sorry. I just find that to be so funny.
Yeah, he called me 3 years later, and now he's looking for an investment property now too.
Well, you know his strategy. He's going to tell you the toilet's broke.
I told him you're not allowed to do that anymore. But
you can't make that up.
I'm trying to keep it from crying here.
No, that was good. All right, that's fair. That was a good one.
Yeah.
You got any others up the sleeve?
I mean, I've got a lot of things happen. That's the thing is, I carry toilet paper in my car, and there's reasons for that.
Yeah, you never know.
But yeah, things like the water being off and then someone doing what that gentleman did, and yeah, that's no good.
It's no good, man.
But we'll get off that.
Yeah, sorry. All right, that was good though. It was a good laugh.
I can't even think of another one now.
Yeah, nothing tops that one right there. Okay, that's good. So what's next? What's next for Higher Level Homes? That is your team name.
So I've got some things cooking right now. I'm not quite ready to announce. We started a new business. We're going to be rolling that out publicly here very shortly. We've done like 2 or 3 jobs for it, and I'm really excited about this. And this business that we created is actually a way to service our buyers and sellers even more.
Cool.
Because I truly believe that you're going to have to provide value now with this new, whatever you want to call it, new industry you're stepping into.
Yeah, with the NAR settlement changes. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And, we're looking to do that and have that be a difference maker.
Did you think back in, let's call it January of 22, that you'd be where you are right now?
Absolutely not.
Did not imagine it.
No. I'll tell you that in January 22, I had never sold anything over like 625 or something like that. Maybe not even 625.
And now what's your highest sales price?
7.3 million. And in that same year, I also closed 3.8 million, which was like mind blowing to me.
And then months later,
the 7 million one came, and that. I tell you what, I did not buy a new car. I did buy a house though. I did buy a house.
That was smart.
But I literally took a huge chunk of all of my 2023 earnings, reinvested it into business, and I'm in this for the long haul. So I'm not building.
Yeah, I love that about you, and I'm glad you brought that up. Is that you have invested in yourself at such a high level in terms of the conferences that you've been going to, the traveling, going around with the luxury committee, doing all those things, where for some reason it's hard for people to wrap around their mind of that. Going to a conference, going to an event, learning, going to these different trainings, that is not an expense. That is an investment into yourself, which is the greatest investment that you can make. And you've really stepped into that. I just want to take my hat off to you. And when you get a large commission check and not going and buying the Maserati.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. I've never been a person that desires like a Maserati or anything like that. So like for me, I'm still driving the same car I drove in 2018 when I first got into real estate. There's a lot of so I don't know how to say it without so yeah, I'm still driving the same car, and
well, we talked about that. I mean, at a surface level, there's other needs that you wanted to be able to fulfill that was greater than material things that you could buy for yourself.
Right. And honestly, I've been using my resources to help people that need it, and that is my big why.
Yeah, you're giving back. It's the circle. The thing continues, and your success is going to continue to where you're
I'm not going to say that I donate all my money or anything like that, but I'm in a position where I can help the people that I want to help.
That is giving back. It doesn't have to be in form of to a charity.
Right.
Your family is important.
And it is. And, there was there's a lot of things that influence me, so I don't want anyone to think that there's one thing and you have to wait for this thing or anything like that, because, even that speaker at Family Reunion 2022, his speech was great.
You remember who it was?
Ed
Milet.
Ed Milet. And
one more.
And yep. And just him saying something like, how he gets all fired up about saying, I'm the one. I'm going to be the one in my family that changed the family tree. Only, that whole thing that got me like stirred.
It was a very powerful speech. Yeah. It was a very powerful keynote. One of the best. So why don't we step into that a little bit? How has Keller Williams helped you in your business and career? in life?
Yeah. So I will say that I've never recruited any agents or anything like that. So when I sell Keller Williams, it's just literally telling you how it's affected me. We have congruent values, and the friend that I was recommended to come over here to, I knew that his and I values were very congruent. So I knew if it worked for him, it'd be my kind of culture and atmosphere, and that's what it is. Everyone, this is one of the few places where they will actually say God first, and it's almost like very rare that you have an organization as big as Keller Williams that will say that, and be, just kind of just okay with whatever that God means to you. It's not, it's just whatever it means, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. And there is no shying away from it.
Right. Keller Williams also allows me to have this international network of other Keller Williams agents that are also kind of similar in culture, and we all speak the same language. We all we know it's almost like we know each other before we even talk to each other.
It is a really cool thing.
Yeah.
So what was your first major Keller Williams event?
My first major Keller Williams event. So I always had to use my money for other priorities. Let's say that.
Yeah.
Until about 2023. So last summer, only a year ago, my first big event was Mega Agent Camp. So going back again, that's about a month away. Super excited for it.
Yeah, and that's when you saw Ed Milet, and so did that inspire you in ways that you can relate to, has allowed you to create more business since you went to that event?
Yeah, all these events, you come back and you're like rejuvenated. You love the business again. You feel like, okay, there's 10,000 other people out there doing it. Why can't I? I'm going to do it at a high level. Not to mention the connections that you make out there. And I've met mentors, from, say, San Francisco, where we can work together. We can run ideas by each other. And it just works out really good because they're totally different ideas.
Mm-hmm. Different market,
different like whole mentality, So there's a lot of different ways to do everything that we do.
Yeah. Did you go to family reunion?
I did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And that was another.
Yeah. So I'm committed to just like with those conventions, I'm committed to them. Yeah, they're expensive. You pay for access with those conventions. You can buy the seats in the general seating, but you're going to sit with general people. You can buy the seats with the VIPs, and then you're going to sit with the VIPs. And, the VIPs are good people to know.
Yeah.
So I've gotten business from, and even when I don't have business from them, like they'll follow me on Instagram and then be encouraging me throughout the whole thing, or it's just nice to have people along on the ride. I feel like that's one of the best ways to connect is like, hey, follow my Instagram. I post my stories on there. You can see what I'm doing. I can see what you're doing. And, you really get to know someone that way.
Absolutely.
And it sounds crazy.
No,
and
I
was totally against all that.
And now look how big of an influence it is on your life.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's so much so an influence. I actually have a director of marketing that does all the social media and then some. So
you really leaned in to being a marketer.
Right. And honestly, I feel like I'm not doing enough. I feel like there's so much more I want to do, and I just have to get my time back to be able to do it. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm working on with the team.
Yeah.
Once I get the team firing where they're just kind of rolling on their own, and I'm going to be able to do some amazing things.
Well, like you said at the beginning, Cadillac problems.
Yep. And I'm sure there are people out there that are looking at me like, oh, that team's never going to roll on its own. Like, not this team specifically, but other team leaders that, I've heard a lot of horror stories about teams and different things that have happened. And yeah, to answer that, I know it's going to be tough.
It's growing pains.
And right, it's growing pains, and I expect
it hurts when you go to the gym for the first time.
Hurts when you go to the gym for the first time, exactly. But you don't stop going, right?
No, because eventually, and if you're doing it right, you're always breaking down and building more, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about. I think, dude, you've provided so much value so far. I want to thank you for showing up in the way you do, and hats off to you, to your growth and your success. It's awesome to watch you continue to do amazing things, and you're servicing so many awesome people here in the Tampa Bay area, and you're an inspirational story for sure. So keep doing what you're doing.
I mean, one of these days I'm going to come out and just full story.
All right. Well, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Let's write that book.
Yeah, I mean, I made some different choices that people don't usually make, you know, and I got a different path than most people take in my younger years. So
Yeah,
it's definitely something interesting to talk about.
I can't wait. I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah.
I know it at a surface level, but I know there's more to it. We all have a fascinating story, and it all leads us here, right? Every event leads us here. I love the line: "Is there's many paths to the Buddha."
Yeah, and you know, to be honest with you, this is something that's important too, because I didn't start real estate or get licensed until I was 36 or 37 years old. So it's never too late to just change completely 180 what you're doing and just totally get into something different.
Yeah, I love that, and I love that you said that because some people do feel like it's too late, or
Right.
and even wherever you're at in your business right now, you know, you want to go to the next level. It just takes removing those limiting beliefs and stepping in and hanging around higher level people that lift you up, and you've been able to do that.
Yeah. I like that you plugged the group name, Higher Level Homes Group. Appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but that's it right there in a nutshell.
Taking it to the higher level.
Taking it to the higher
If people want to get in contact with you, Adam, what's the best way for them to get in touch?
So I always give out my cell phone number, 305-647-8376. We also have our website, stpeterealtor.com. Pretty simple, straightforward.
Boom.
Yep.
Awesome. And Instagram?
And Instagram, adambenmbark.realtor.
.realtor.
Yep.
Adam, it was a pleasure. Appreciate you. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks,
Appreciate
Ryan.
all you do. If you're still with us, comment below that you're still here. Send some love to Adam. Like, share, send to a friend, do all the fun things, and we'll see you here on the next one. Thanks, everyone. Dude, that was great. How you feel about it?
I don't know.